What's up, guys? How you doing today? I get a lot of questions on Instagram and in person about what cameras I use. So I thought a good video to start off this channel would be to talk about some of the cameras I use, some of the film, and some of the processes. Alright, let's get started. Alright, first camera I use, my favorite camera for sure. It's not the most convenient, but it is my favorite, is my 4x5 camera. This thing is not lightweight, it's quite heavy, and especially the tripod you have to lug along with it. If you are hiking, I recommend a wooden camera like the one behind me, not a metal one, but this has all the movements you could ever ask for, and it gives you just beautiful, beautiful quality. The 4x5 is also very versatile. I shoot wet plate collodion with it, as well as I have my pack film, and I love shooting Polaroid with it as well. So it's very versatile. You could shoot a lot of different things with it, which is great. It doesn't limit you. Some of my favorite images I've taken were on this camera, and yeah, that's why I keep going back. Even though it is not very convenient, I tend to use it the most. Alright, next off we have probably my second most used camera. Very reliable, Pentax 6.7. The quality you get with this for the price, I think it's worth it. Comparing it to maybe the Mamiya 7, which is quite high. I think right now it's ranging, I'm not positive, maybe $2,000 to $3,000. I could be wrong, but I think around that range. And I mean, for the price of this, I think it's even cheaper than the RZ 6.7. I love the quality. It's very simple, very easy to use. It feels like a 35mm, but much larger. So I recommend this one. Anyone that's trying to get into medium format, I recommend this one. So, as you can see, next one is my 8x10 camera. This is an Intrepid 8x10. I bought it not too long ago. It came in about a few weeks ago. I have not shot any film with it, but I shot a few wet plate images with it, and I think the quality is really, really beautiful. I've been wanting to get into 8x10 for a very long time now, as I've been shooting 4x5 for a few years, and I really enjoy it, the shallow depth of field, everything. Alright, so next camera I have for you guys is the Mamiya 645. This was my first medium format camera, waist level finder. I can't say anything but great things about this camera. The way it renders photos, the way it renders colors, I think it really has to do with the lens of the Mamiya. Really, really beautiful, and I think it's the best camera I could have used for starting out. It's very, very easy to use. Everything's right at your hands. The only downside of this camera, I would say, is the focusing. I would say in the earlier days, I was missing focus 60% of the time, which sucks when you're first getting into medium format. It's very discouraging. But as time went on, I got more used to it. But yeah, as I said, I definitely recommend this camera. I think it gives really beautiful photos. Alright, so next camera. This was my first film camera ever. It's actually my mom's from the 80s. And this is, I'm sure everyone has one, the Canon AE1. It's a classic. I don't care what anyone says. I still shoot it, even if it makes me look like everyone else or hipster or whatever. But I really enjoy shooting it. It's very, very reliable. I've brought it to New Zealand. I've brought it all over Europe, all over Canada, Alaska, in really, really bad conditions. And it always comes through. It always gives me great images, never light leaks, never anything. So I've always been very, very happy with this camera, and I highly recommend it. Okay, so last camera I have for you guys is the Olympus Stylus. So this is the first version. This is not the Stylus Epic 2. This is the first one, and I tend to use this more than my Canon AE1 these days because it is just so convenient. You put it in your pocket, it's so tiny, there's not much to worry about with it. I was in Maine on a trip about a year ago, and I was on a beach with a lot of rocks, and I actually dropped this camera, and it pretty much came open, and I was like, oh man. So I put it back in my pocket, and very stupidly I dropped it again. So dropped it twice, and it was raining, and everything was open, and this camera still works. So it doesn't look durable, it's definitely plastic, but it does a good job. Best thing I love about this camera, aside from, you know, just point and shoot, is the lighting. Is the way it exposes images is spot on perfect. Whatever the light metering mechanism in this is the best I've ever seen. Every single time the image is perfect. I don't have to edit or anything. It is perfect. There's been very few times where it wasn't, but for the most part, every single time. Sometimes it misses focus, but that's a point and shoot. Alright, so now for film. My go-to film for large format is Ilford FP4. I can't say enough but good things about this film. It's 125 ISO, which is very, very low, fine grain. And when you're shooting large format, you barely see the grain. It is so crisp and so smooth. For a lot of my portraits, I love this film. Landscapes as well, I really enjoy it, but definitely portraits. It's the main thing I use. 4x5, 8x10, whatever. For color, only Portrait 160. Same with black and white. I've tried HP5. I've tried, you know, a few other black and white films for large format. I don't like any of them. FP4 was the only one that I liked. I liked what it rendered, especially with a larger negative. This goes for Portrait 160 as well. I've tried 400. I haven't tried any transparencies, which I probably should, and I probably will in the future. But for what it's worth, Portrait 160 is definitely the best color rendition, in my opinion. Now, like I said, I also shoot pack film. So these are some of the ones I use. I'm sure everyone shoots FP100C if you're still shooting pack film, because let's just say the price has gone way up on these. So if you have a bunch, I'm sure you're like me and you keep them all in your refrigerator and you don't want to use them. So I have this, I have some Polaroid 665, I have a bunch of other Polaroids, but I just didn't bring them out. So for medium format, and this goes for 35mm as well, the main thing I shoot is 400 T-Max. The way this looks on medium format is out of this world to me. It gives like the perfect amount of grain, not too much. I also really love, you know, HP5. HP5 is great too, but I always seem to go back to T-Max. It's just sharp, it's really, really nice. It's great for portraits, which is majority of what I do. I will also say Ilford 3200 is really, really good, especially in the low light situations. Again, Portrait 160. I just really, really love it. If I need to, if it's really dark, I'll go 400. I've shot 800 once. I just never really had the need, and since it's more expensive, as I said in the beginning, I do a lot of alternative processes as well, alternative printing, wet plate collodion, things of that nature. So if anything you're interested in, I highly recommend these books, which definitely helped get me started. This one is by Quinn Jacobson. It's very, very step-by-step instructions on how to start wet plate collodion. when I was in France learning more about wet plate collodion. My friend highly recommended this book, and of course I got it. The other one is by Christopher James. This thing is the Bible. It is ginormous. But it gives you everything you could possibly want or need. It tells you about palladium prints, tells you about salt printing, about wet plate collodion, about cyanotypes. Anything you'd want to know alternative is in this book. So I highly recommend this one as well. Alright, that's all I got for you guys today. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope to be doing some more of these. If you'd like to see me go more in depth about anything, just comment below, let me know, and I'll talk more about it in another video. If any of these cameras really interested you, I could talk more about it, or go out in the field and use it and show you how I use it. Yeah, so just comment below, let me know what you think. I appreciate you guys watching. You guys have a great day.